Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today a 1 vs 1 on the fields of Angoville. Angoville is where the fight shall be taking place today. We shall be watching Takeitlikeaman fighting for the 1st Infantry Division, the Americans. Stand-up start from him, 2 engineers, but note the placement of his barracks again. The sort of in-way between. Bit curious about that, as always. Opposing him, though, shall be, if we can again select properly, MWniksa, fighting for the Wehrmacht, fighting for the 17th SS Panzergrenadiers Division, good von Belgium on Angoville, which is rather, central road. The strategic points controlling our resources rather close to everything, and thus being rather easy to harass. And of course, the heteros, all in all, creating a bit of a cross situation right here in the centre. But we are seeing a bit of a spread going on from the Americans, whereas the Wehrmacht is focusing much more heavily on the west, and it tends to be like that for the Wehrmacht on Angoville. Either it tends to go heavily for one side or for the other, because usually, again, there's so many ways the Americans can attack, thanks to the precaution, partly also due to how the strategic points are placed, that for the Wehrmacht it tends not to pay off if you actually sort of, spread out too much, because then the Americans can much more easily sneak in and do a lot of damage. We are seeing the pioneers heading straight for the high field point towards the west initially, and we are seeing a Volksgrenadier squad leading the way for Niksa. Of course, we are seeing some riflemen heading down here for Takeitlikeaman, the man's man. Engineers engaging the pioneers by the field point. Volksgrenadiers moving up. Although already the pioneers are not doing too well, the Volksgrenadiers might be able to turn things around, but even then the engineers might get the pioneers. And there we go, we do see that the engineers successfully push off the pioneers, leaving the Volksgrenadiers to take the point. And of course, also meaning there's going to be one less unit initially to take points, although of course the engineers were themselves pushed away with some losses. We are seeing a quick shift from the riflemen towards the right-hand side. And also noting nothing's going on there. In fact, note, Takeitlikeaman, then realize, of course, I don't want to go there. If Hans isn't holding it, then of course I bloody well don't want it either. Sort of, a child mentality, I suppose, but, he wants to harass and he wants to annoy the German player initially. So, of course, he's going to pretty much ignore over there, since Niksa isn't even bothering with it. Now, in fact, he's waiting for something of Niksa's to ambush. There you go, we see some Volksgrenadiers moving up, we're seeing some pioneers moving up, and there we go, the pioneers immediately come under fire from the riflemen. A second squad looks like to be moving out. No, those were engineers. The second squad's up there by the fuel, actually. And note here how Niksa responds. Actually does not split them up. Oh, never mind then. He proceeds to split them up, but otherwise I would say, he focuses both Volksgrenadier squads on one American squad at a time, thus gaining, the advantage that way. Instead, we do see him splitting up his troops, allowing, in fact, Takeitlikeaman to deal with Niksa's troops in a much more easy fashion, although now we do see Niksa rushing in, trying to clear out the American infantry a bit quick, and there we go, one rifleman squad already off. We're now seeing one rifleman squad and an engineer squad versus 2 Volksgrenadier squads, and looks like already there the engineers are taking heavy losses, leaving behind only the riflemen. The Volksgrenadier is a bit low on health, one squad is already a bit damaged, and even there, it might be that Takeitlikeaman could actually win, but we are seeing Volksgrenadiers moving up with their MP40s, the machine gun pistol and Fiatic, opening up on the riflemen. This is going to be a rather close engagement. Both players have lost quite a bit here, and the ultimate winner can in fact decide how the other one carries on. And there we go, the MD42 arrives, and we do see that Niksa ultimately wins the fight, forcing away Takeitlikeaman. And we are immediately seeing Niksa laying down a mine pretty aggressively, securing the territory over there for the fuel, the high munitions. There's going to be definitely quite a bit of fighting over these resource points. And out here we're seeing another rifleman squad going to probably move in and see if it can't harass or even take a long and deep flank and see if it can't hit that MD42 crew, saying it away, leaving the frontline troops a bit more exposed. And again, Niksa very much focusing towards here. He wants just some safe territory. He's going to be ignoring what's over there. Going for some munition. Engineers advancing. Bit of quiet. Meet the commander fire from the Volksgrenadiers. MD42 moving about. And we're seeing another MD42 coming up for Niksa to try and cover the flanks. And at least try to hold off against any flanking assaults. And there we go, Flamethrower Engineer squad moving in. The MD42 is going to be caught a bit flat-footed. Rather than moving in, I think they may think they have seen their chance here to go in and give Niksa are beating, and there we go. The Engineers are just getting slaughtered. The MG42 tears through them, ending their lives in a brutal fashion. And the second MG42 stops there, and that was definitely a brutal engagement right there for Takeitlikeaman, who absolutely took a beating, a walloping, a thrashing, and was ultimately forced away with considerable casualties having been inflicted upon him. A fourth squad of riflemen is on the way, but he is definitely going to be hurting a bit, although he does hold most of the map because, again, he has had the advantage of Angoville to basically be able to keep Niksa again contained within one very small part of the map for the time being. There we go, rifling getting the Falcons, getting quickly a few kills, dropping Krauts left and right, although we do see the MG42 setting up in a distance that they will allow to support, but the rifling, oh no, they actually get suppressed. And now we do see the Pioneers adding in a bit more. Father Rifler definitely taking a shooting, and we are seeing a no, he cancelled it. We're seeing a weapon support in there now all of a sudden. Going out for Takeitlikeaman, we're seeing one plank of wood flying quite far. The Riflemen here are taking quite some casualties. Now more False Grenadiers are moving up, and we are seeing nothing else at the moment for Niksa. But again, an attempt to flank up. We're seeing a bunker going down for Niksa, but we are seeing Rifle engaging. That could very much, yes, indeed, result in a cancelled bunker. Likely was going to be a medic bunker, but obviously not now. It was strangled in the cradle. And question is, what will Niksa do then? He's got this area, but again, Takeitlikeaman is definitely keeping up the pressure. He's definitely attacking from every conceivable angle he can find. Although the trouble is he's not doing it at the same time, which is definitely giving Niksa some chance and actually, you know, containing the assaults. And there we go, might hit the mine right there. Nice mining, by the way, from Niksa. No, he just edges about it, and of course it's a common mine spot, so of course he might have failed. And there we go, the mine goes off. One man got a bit too eager and stepped on it, killing 2 Americans, leaving the rest in an awful situation. And we do see that the Wehrmacht is quickly moving up. We could see the 74-2 might want to move up here to provide a slightly more dense front, or of course he might be hoping to set it up in a more deep defense position so that it isn't immediately spotted, and of course can cover up against any, again, deeper flanks going on from the Americans. Kriegberg's up for Niksa. Flamethrowers up. Sniper on the way for Takeitlikeaman, who, by the way, lost a rifleman squad like a man. So that will hurt him a bit. At least I think he lost one. Might be he did not, and I somehow missed it, cancelled it. Well, but a weapon support center, that means a sniper, and we're actually seeing demolition charges. He's got the Engineers there, and I mean the placement of the Wehrmacht quarters is a very much frontal one, and there's nothing covering it. I mean, in a position like this, the Wehrmacht quarters is actually quite exposed, and of course he's seen no sniper, so this could actually be a clever move from Takeitlikeaman. He wrecks the Wehrmacht quarters, thus also denying Niksa, at least initially, any sort of counter towards the sniper, any direct counter, which would actually be pretty damn clever. And I mean, we know that Niksa has no sniper, of course. For Takeitlikeaman, it's a bit of a gamble, since as far as he knows there is none, but there might be one, that I mean. But on the other hand, of course, I mean, this could actually work out quite nicely, again, wrecking the Wehrmacht quarters with a demo charge. Of course, not just denies him the Wehrmacht quarters, of course, any sort of direct counter to the sniper again, which is the primary bit, and I suspect that is why he's doing it, and again, that is pretty damn clever. We are seeing some Grenadiers moving up, and I think, oh, he's going to try and grenade them, but there we go, too late. That's 25 munitions wasted, and a Wehrmacht quarters lost, and also means that this American sniper can pretty much do what he wants. And in fact, this is in fact forcing Niksa to immediately having to spend resources not on any units but on a Wehrmacht quarters. So that is very much a nice move there by Takeitlikeaman, not just, you know, giving himself some more time for his own sniper, but of course, you know, forcing Niksa into something he otherwise might have not had any use for. I mean, otherwise, I mean, this Wehrmacht quarters, you know, no use for it. But again, with a sniper, he has to rebuild it. And then just for that case of that sniper, that is actually pretty devious, and that's definitely also going to be holding back Niksa from taking up towards, say, a Sturm Armory.
Hang on, HQ might want us to clear that minefield.
Minesweepers up for Takeitlikeaman. That's good. Sniper forces away the MG Volksgrenadiers retreating.
Composition B is in.
The 17th SS being pushed back, largely composed of, I think it was either ethnic Romanians or Hungarians. The Volksdeutsche, well, ethnic Germans from Romania, Hungary. Damn it. But the Volksdeutsche was probably the only SS division to actually only fight on the Western Front. And it was also one with a bit of a mixed performance, in particular later in the war. There was certainly some thought about, was it even worth giving it replacement troops and equipment which could be given to other more needing divisions.
Rifle squad has the objective.
There's definitely some thought there, but let's go have a look at Niksa, who doctrinally has not chosen anything yet, but he's now actually making progress on the right-hand side, although at the same time as he's losing the left-hand side, as the Americans making good progress, laying down mines of their own. And some barbed wire there to ensure that Takeitlikeaman can actually just stroll into space and begin laying down more demo charges, which would definitely be quite nasty. And we do now see Niksa getting a sniper of his own. So hopefully he might have a chance now against the Americans. MG42s of the heavier kind moving up. Usually part of a heavy platoon of a company, which would usually hold mortars and MGs. Oh, straight on the MGs, that means infantry for Takeitlikeaman. None of it though hits. Bit of a gamble right there, and in this case it did not work out. In fact, he's sending his own rifle straight into it. He could, yeah, kill his own men. And he could lose a rifleman squad on the retreat. At the same time, Pioneers and Grenadiers on the right hand side are going to get overwhelmed by an American presence of quite some size, including the sniper. But we do see that Niksa continues up the left hand side rather vigorously. Minesweepers ensuring that they won't get any nasty American surprises, at least for the time being.
We have defused the mines as well.
Losing territory.
MG crew on me.
And there we go, sniper fire. Mine goes off right there. Not actually killing anyone though, a bit of a shame. And there we go, the Grenadiers retreat as well. But we do see Niksa making nice progress here. Americans securing the munitions there, and definitely, I mean, Niksa currently does not actually hold a lot of the map. Barely any resources flowing in towards his supply depot, whatever you'd call it. So a bit of a nasty situation for him. He has to be careful. Mines going down. Sniper and rifle moving towards the west. At the same time, we are seeing a supply up. We're seeing a supply upgrade. We're seeing a triage center. So clearly some upgrades there towards infantry fighting. He could of course also consider medic station. That would benefit him, I think. Placement could be up there. And Pioneers getting sniped. And riflemen finish it off just as they were finishing the mine. Mine going off right there by the victory point. Wounding but not killing any folks. We're seeing the Americans advancing. Rifleman very close, hitting off the mine. And even getting suppressed, but both cases they avoided. German sniper not reeling himself. He wants a clear shot at the American. Another Grenadier out for Niksa.
But I don't know if I can hold it.
Rifleman holding out here and there.
What are your orders?
Yes, sir.
Troops reinforcing. Riflemen slowly advancing up, and there we go. The Volksguns immediately coming under fire again. No medic packs for them, no veteranry either, which could help them heal a bit, make it a bit more useful in the longer run. Panzerabwehrkanonen number 2 on the way for Niksa, of course. He's doing this because, well, he hasn't seen any motorbulls. He's not, the only thing he has seen is snipers and riflemen. He's not even seen upgrades for the riflemen, so he's very much concerned that Takeitlikeaman is going to be hitting him with armor, in which case he's going for the packs. So of course he can resist any Sherman assaults much better. And it looks like the sniper actually gets revealed. I'm not entirely sure what caused this, but I imagine that Niksa is not unhappy about it. We do see the riflemen advancing up there. There's only really a squad of Volksguns and the sniper to try and hold back the American tide, which is not really a helpful situation. There we go. The sniper quickly retreats before the path was cut off by the riflemen, which would definitely have been devastating. Pack moves up. The Volksguns, though, continue to fight against the riflemen. And the victory point right here has been seized by Grenadiers. thus denying it to the Americans while another Grenadier squad is over there. None of them are actually fighting against the opponent at the moment. That's a bit weird.
We're losing territory.
In fact, looks like none of them actually killed an American at all. Oh wait, they've killed 3. That's some comfort. There we go. Rifleman coming under fire from the MG42. Niksa setting up a defense right here, very close at the edge of his base. He can't afford to lose much more territory. And Takeitlikeaman is definitely very much intending to give him the fight of his life. And there we go. Rifleman off the field, running back towards the base. Grenadiers mounting against Rifleman, getting sniped, and second sniper from the Americans. Grenade against the Rifleman, killing several. And we could see a Rifleman's got no. The Grenadiers retreat. They were so close, they could have finished it off. And we are seeing on-map artillery now, I believe, from Takeitlikeaman, shelling the German base. Very close to hitting something, but for the larger part, Niksa is quick to get out of the bloody way. And we are finally seeing some infantry veterans up close to hitting the Grenadiers. They're on the retreat. Lots of troops reinforced.
Pioneers here.
We can now unleash our
But a howitzer up for Takeitlikeaman. That's definitely going to cause Niksa a bit of a headache. You could of course take up and get some sort of vehicle you could try and rush in with. Of course he's gone terror, so you could also consider getting a V1 rocket and that way finish the job. Volkskrieger here taking heavy artillery fire, likely off map rather than on map, but going for the fuel points, hoping to deny them. Engineers sweeping the mines as German troops are hunting them down. It looks like Takeitlikeaman's going to make a push for the left-hand side, while there's lighter engagements over on the right-hand side. Largely the right hand in this match has been, for the larger part, forgotten, except for some lighter skirmishes between harassers, and one major engagement from Takeitlikeaman to clear out those harassers, but otherwise very minute fighting, and most of it has been focused towards the more open side, with the less things blocking the line of fire. Rifleman winning against Grenadiers. Nick's actually floating a bit of resources. Not favourable. Fox is running into problems. Sniper getting to yank. And looks like the Grenadiers will lose this fight. Down to one man. Run, Heinz, run! And the grenade definitely flew a bit too far. He tried to throw where they were rather than where they were moving, which is usually not too helpful. And we're seeing Veterans 2 on the way for Niksa's infantry. Pack firing away. The sniper awfully close. It looks like the sniper actually moving up to the sniper was what revealed the whole thing. And there we go. Pack crew getting sniped. But the American sniper got counter-sniped by the German sniper. And artillery again. Firing straight at the MG42 this time. Probably not what Niksa was expecting. A bit of a sleight of hand, although using artillery, and the rifleman right down here up getting pinned down by the MG42 and the Volkskrieger supporting them. And it looks like the right hand side is going to be overrun. We're seeing a single Grenadier squad going to get assaulted by Veterans 2 riflemen and some engineers. Grenadiers are quick to take into the house. Veterans 2 hopefully soon ready. No taking, not much else going on. There we go, Veterans 2. Now with grenades up, lobbing at the door in the hopes of forcing him out and trick him to run into the mine. But Niksa was better than that and did not fall for it ultimately, though he was forced out.
The Americans are capturing a sector.
And the advance continues up the left hand side with only some engineers to stop them. One kill so far for the howitzer. Sniper fires almost point blank at the rifleman and absolutely misses. All the more MGs and Grenadiers are moving up to try and flush out the rifleman there. Oh dear, artillery getting called in straight on the point. MG gunner down, sniper getting as far away from the zone of action. And the last engineer, his comrade Det, tried to knock down the sniper with his minesweeper. But that did not work, and looks like an MG42 has been lost for all eternity for Niksa. A stout artillery strike knocked that one out permanently. And more artillery. Oh, direct hit on the pack. Now that's a bit unfortunate. 3 kills now. Rifleman advancing up here, going to be holding up against one squad of Veterans 2 Volkskrieger, although the MG42 flying support right behind it does quite a nice job. And of course, Veterans 2 Volkskrieger, besides the slight damage reduction they get, which is largely negligible, they do also actually get increased line of sight, which means in conjunction with the MG42 they can actually be a bit nasty now. And looks like Niksa is taking up, getting some more pioneers, immer mehr Pionieren, to replace the ones lost. And let us return to Take It Like a Man. With no engineers left whatsoever. Although it looks like he's getting another engineer squad to replace all the ones he lost. In fact, there's been heavy losses amongst the engineer or pioneer units on both sides. Riflemen advancing up there, engaging the grenadiers. Mighty grenade. We are also seeing BARs up now, by the way, for Take It Like a Man. And what shall he be using the engineers for?
Yes, sir. Rifles here.
American sniper getting another kill. And blimey, he's getting another howitzer. That is definitely very rare and looks... Oh, he got another sniper! Niksa got a third sniper! Crikey. But now there are 2 howitzers out for Take It Like a Man, definitely able to rain down death and destruction upon Niksa's positions. That is definitely going to hurt, that is definitely going to cause a headache. Definitely not what you usually see from the Americans. Firing now directly into the German base. Hitting the Krieg bags actually quite nastily. Sturm Armory lighting up. And they're fighting here, but the Grenadiers are themselves pushed off by the stout actions of the riflemen, unwilling to let the crowd live. Riflemen running straight into the Grenadiers, taking some nasty casualties. Down to 2 men, in fact.
105 battery here.
But this is definitely going to be a slightly different match. Not very often you see that heavy artillery usage from an American. You'd almost think it was Soviet who were definitely known for using artillery on a larger scale and much more mass, but on the other hand they didn't quite have the same skill with it on the tactical level. But we do see a heavy armored car advancing out.
Enemy unit down.
And looks like the Howard tactics scored some good kills, gaining veterans who won. Sticky bomb on the armored car. More fire into the German base. Looks like some poor bastard went down, though not the sniper.
Heavy infantry reserves are now available.
And Rangers now getting prepared for Take It Like a Man and the 1st Infantry. What the Americans though had in artillery was actually their ability to coordinate artillery quite well, even artillery from other units, which was rather where the Germans had a problem. Where the Germans rather had it much more so that pretty much every unit, down to a regimental level, actually had their own artillery, so they could always pretty much be sure that they wouldn't run into a problem. Well, now it's actually battalion level, so they could always count on there being something to support them. Although granted, the battalion level artillery was usually of a smaller caliber, what was known as infantry guns, Infantry Geschütz. Armor car here taking heavy damage from the Rangers, but Propaganda War sends them scurrying away, reminding them there's a terrible German army waiting for them. We do see the Volkswagens here running away from the riflemen. Other riflemen up on the left-hand side. MG42 slightly shifting, perhaps worried about artillery from the Americans.
They're taking one of our points.
And more artillery going in. And the Pioneers get wiped out. Trying to perhaps hit the armoured cars in the process. Certainly close to doing so. Germans making good progress up the right-hand side, while the left side is collapsing almost to the Americans. Only one squad. Oh, grenade on the MG gunners, killing one poor bastard. And the pack got decrewed by the riflemen.
We have 300 points left.
Grenadiers are going to try and oust the riflemen. But will they succeed? And there we go, grenade, but it flies too far. Set the rifle move up close. Although we do see the MG42 opening up instead. And we do see some artillery being called in to suppress that MG42. In a rather permanent fashion, I wager. If it can hit, that is. And there we go, MG42 retreating. Advancing up here, and it's actually time for the mid-game analysis. Current situation, Niksa is making progress. He's taking most of the victory points, but he is starting to bleed. The 2 howitzers is definitely going to be a bit of a headache for him, mildly put. Since they can rather offer some thick artillery coverage on pretty much all points of the map. And of course, for Takeitlikeaman, I mean, he's going to need to keep those howitzers intact. They have been quite an investment for him, and he might also want to consider getting either some armor or just something a bit more dashing so he can push much heavier in. For Niksa, he needs something to take them up, perhaps some Stook supported to make a direct assault on the howitzers. I mean, he's already got 2 armored cars, so we could use that to, well, again, assault the howitzers, knock them out without risking to lose. We could go for a Panzergrenadier. Of course, you could try some V1 rockets and knock it out that way. Otherwise, his essential job is basically going to try and minimize casualties from artillery, partly by using the map correctly, like staying behind Bocage and, well, houses in the direction of the American base. So that way, you know, having some of the terrain absorb the artillery fire could definitely work out for Niksa. He could also, of course, consider getting a Panzergrenadier and rushing in some more heavily armored stuff to try and knock out the American artillery that way. So let us return to the fight and see what happens next. With excitement, it looks like some grenadiers here running into heavy problems. Flamethrowers are now rangers with Thompson submachine guns, sending the grenadiers running for their lives. The cowards. At the same time, Rifleman squad also succeeds in pushing off another squad. Looks like actually the sniper. Oh dear. What a shame, what a shame. And the armoured cars are going to need repairs, although it looks like one has finally been repaired. We've seen Veterans 1 for them, by the way, as well. Going to help a bit, and Fulton's running into Ranger-related issues as Thompson submachine guns threaten to end their lives in a less than exciting fashion. Further artillery getting called into the German base. And the armor cars on the move, although looks like Niksa once more moved it too close to the riflemen, thus allowing them to sticky bomb. And looks like they might recruit the pack and try to send against the armor cars. The armor cars are never going to have a problem there. Riflemen are taking some losses. Propaganda walling behind only the pack. So definitely there, Mr. Takeitlikeaman should not be keeping his riflemen that close. And there we go, the pack is decrewed in the nick of time before the armor cars began taking damage and possibly even casualties. And more artillery from Niksa. I mean, Takeitlikeaman. Getting the pioneers going for the strategic point. And one of the pack gunners by the looks of it. Armored car getting repaired, and again just dense artillery coverage being laid down by Takeitlikeaman. And in coming years through, there will definitely be some artillery, both for the Germans in the form of the 1 and 5mm howitzer they had, and I believe for the Soviets they will be getting something closer to the 150mm or 120. I'm not entirely sure, but definitely will be heavier than the Germans. Plus some other bits. Rangers and the riflemen fighting against the Grenadiers. No LMGs for the Grenadiers, which could perhaps help a bit, but Rangers just charging through. They're trying to get the sniper with the Thompson submachine guns. And they are unable to catch up with the snipers. The bazookas flying, but they fail as well. The Grenadiers are slowly on the retreat from the Rangers, firing away with the Thompson submachine guns. The riflemen providing support with the BARs, and more artillery continues to rain down. The armor car hits a mine. No damaged engine. And no attempt at going after those howitzers. And another sticky bomb on the other armored car. Bit of a shame there. Damaged engine on it. Niksa and the 17th are getting pushed back. Again, looks like another sniper for Niksa to try and drain the American infantry. Bit risky with all the artillery. He could easily risk losing a sniper to a stray shell. And the rifle on the right-hand side are being pushed back. A nice German counter-attack being supported by 2 snipers, keeping the entire thing rolling. More artillery causing the snipers to retreat. Artillery going straight after the Sturm Army and its armored cars. In this case, the armored cars are quick to escape. The Kriegwagen, though, has been lost. Direct hit on the armored car, destroying the main gun, but it is still standing. And looks like something was lost over here. Perhaps a pack, an MG, I'm not entirely sure. That looked like some Volksgrenadiers. And the pack gets recruited as well. Niksa and the 17th SS are definitely in a bit of trouble. And the 17th SS, in terms of vehicles, were actually heavily under-equipped. They barely had any trucks or cars. And actually several battalions of them had to be equipped with bikes. Bicycles, ladies and gentlemen. Not much panzer going over that, but we do see a King Tiger has been called in from Army Reserve to try and contain the madness here as more and more artillery continues to raid on. Volksgrenadiers advancing, but coming under fire from the Rangers. Will be a grenade to try and dig the Rangers out of the heavy cover. Bazookas flying, submachine guns shooting. It looks like an anti-tank. Oh dear, looks like an armor car could go down there, but the pack crew's getting sniped. Rangers dead. A bazooka has been dropped. Flamethrower advancing, and they certainly can't pick it up either. Looks like the Volksgrenadiers are securing themselves a bazooka. The advance continues up the left-hand side. In fact, currently the 2 howitzers are in fact quite open to a direct assault by the King Tiger of launch. But what is this? Off-map combat groups providing more Rangers, more riflemen, a 30 caliber and an anti-tank gun. That could in fact just delay the King Tiger, or at least put it on the back foot. Again, we are seeing riflemen quickly counter-attacking. Niksa moving a bit too far ahead without support. And there we go, the rest of Takeitlikeaman's force arriving. But let's go look at Niksa again. Riflemen getting sniped. Propaganda on the Rifleman Rangers. Snipers pushed away. Sticky bomb on the King Tiger, the Königstiger. Ist gesticked. Interesting enough, the howitzers, despite how much they're firing, they're not necessarily actually killing a lot. So I suppose that's a small relief for Niksa and his men as they continue to avoid the rain of death being delivered from Takeitlikeaman's base. The Takeitlikeaman, whatever. Volksgrenadiers here finding a bit and getting pushed away. Snipers on the move. And the left-hand side continues up. Possibly in an attempt to just keep the King Tiger back. He likely knows that if the King Tiger is allowed to advance, because he goes straight for the howitzers, knock them out. And if Takeitlikeaman loses his howitzers, he's definitely lost the game. Rangers and Riflemen advancing up the right-hand side. A full assault force going in there as well. Only 1 Grenadier squad, and again, not much to really help them keep things together with. Another propaganda war. King Tiger taking heavy damage. Armored coming about. And looks like Grenadier squad does go down for Niksa, who's down to Grenadier squad and a Volksgrenadier squad. Barely any infantry left, though we do see a Panzer command going up. Lots of things going on left and right, a bit hard to keep track of.
We're losing territory.
And another barrage. Likely trying to range in on the Tiger, the King Tiger more specifically. Panzer command still being built. American infantry pulling back, at the same time making good progress on the right-hand side. Actually, though, the Americans are the one lowest on victory points. Well, that is also because the howitzers were a bit late to come into the game. Panzer command almost done for Niksa. Almost. Not quite there yet. And a bit of quiet as the 2 forces build up again. Takeitlikeaman's infantry has definitely been a bit depleted. We do see a bold move right there from Niksa to try and get the strategic point. And artillery perhaps trying to cut off the retreat. 30 caliber immediately comes up the Volksgrenadiers, quickly cutting down several men. raking through, but we do see support from the snipers clearing out the MG gunners. Riflemen now getting sniped. And there we go, the 30 caliber is on the run. And there we go, Ostwind flak panzer on the way for Niksa. 17th SS did not have it. They would have had some half tracks, and I think they might have had some Panzer 38Ts or flak Panzer 38Ts. But definitely there would have been no Ostwinds in Normandy. They came much later, 1945 in fact. Always felt the Ostwind flak panzer was a bit incongruous with the whole thing. But veterans, you won for the Panzers. That's definitely going to help the Ostwind a bit. Rangers and riflemen moving up there. Again, nice assault force, although of course 2 snipers there and the armored car, plus of course the King Tiger. And there we go, running into the King Tiger, taking heavy losses from the high explosive shells. Riflemen and Rangers continue up. The Grenadiers and snipers doing what they can. In fact, looks like they might try and cut off the retreat path of the snipers. This could turn very, very ugly for Niksa. And there we go, armored car wrecked by the sheer weight of the infantry. Ostwind pushes forward, 30 centimeters of flak. Quite as lovely against infantry as it is against infantry or aircraft, if not more, since infantry does not come with armor. And there we go, another hit from the Ostwind. And the King Tiger gets off a shot as well. Anti-tank is sneaking up, and we're seeing artillery going in towards the right-hand side to try and protect there. That could very much be the end of the Volksgrenadiers. First shot, though, flies way too far. Assault goes up here, and another pack gets cleared out. Ostwind getting flanked by the anti-tank, and there we go, the snipers are in trouble. They are doing what they can, but they are taking heavy damage. The Ostwind is charging in, and Propaganda War successfully saves them. Oh, the sniper should have shot after the sniper Rangers. I mean, they have elite armor, and snipers can always hit troops with elite armor, even on the retreat, so that was a bit of a miss. But now coming under fire from the 30 caliber. Oh dear, this could actually end up a bit badly for Niksa. He needs to cloak them or clear out the 30 caliber. Heavy firing against the King Tiger and the Ostwind. Riflemen taking heavy losses, punishing losses. Panzer IV now on the way. 30 caliber cleared out. Barely anything left though for Niksa. He's got some Grenadiers, a Pioneer squad, the snipers, and his armor. That's about it. Whereas Takeitlikeaman has a considerably larger force. Snipers need to be careful. One stray shot, and that could definitely kick Niksa square in the stomach. Panzer IV almost done, and then we go Firestorm. Firestorm. Dun, dun, dun. What veterans you find? One for that howitzer, no veterans for that. And of course there's also just the sheer psychological aspect of having 2 howitzers constantly firing away at the opponent can really put a player under a lot of stress. Since he then has to constantly manage, and again, every time there's a shooting, where are my troops? What are the most exposed things? And I mean, he could be firing anywhere. That's definitely some nasty work right there. And we do see that Niksa is being forced away due to, again, the impending threat of heavy artillery. The Pioneers need to be careful, and so do the snipers. Pushing on the right-hand side, the Rangers advance with fury in their hearts. The Grenadiers, though, are quickly pushed off. The Grenadiers are a bit on their own, and again a bit unarmed. And we are seeing another Ostwind flak panzer. The Panzer IV apparently being cancelled for... I'm not entirely sure what purposes. The Panzer IV would have been tougher than the Ostwind, so it's a bit weird that they actually did that. More artillery flying, largely in an attempt to hit the King Tiger and sort it out in a more or less permanent fashion, or at least the attendant Pioneers. And there we go, the Pioneers took a hit and are smeared towards the side of the King Tiger like some very morbid graffiti. And we are seeing a good push against the Ostwind flak panzer. The flak panzer doing what they can. Bazooka rockets, though, impact on the rear. And I mean, Niksa really should not have been pointing the rear towards the enemy. Always keep the front. And Titanic advancing, Takeitlikeaman is making a semi-swift advance. Niksa slowly pulling away, advancing up the right-hand side. The Ostwind flak panzer providing fire support for the Grenadiers. No real response from Takeitlikeaman, who's a bit drained at the moment, but we do see another off-map combat group providing mortars, riflemen, heavy machine guns, and another anti-tank gun. And the King Tiger doing what can. Snipers tearing through the rifle, and that rifle squad needs... Oh! Veteran C2 rifle squad is lost for Takeitlikeaman! And the King Tiger doing what he can, but armor-piercing rounds are threatening to shear through the armor, and seeing more till getting called. The snipers barely dodge it. A King Tiger is definitely caught in the middle of everything. Sticky bombs, artillery, anti-tank on fire, but a direct hit from the high explosive round manages to end the crew in a violent fashion. And Takeitlikeaman is actually heavily depleted in many ways. The medic station again would have helped him a bit in the longer run, but he really needs to reinforce a lot of infantry. Now that's part of the problem with the off-map combat group. It's fighting with a ton of unit, which are a bit depleted at the moment. We do see the Ostwind pushing forwards. Veteran C2 trying to end the lives of the MWniksa. More artillery going in an attempt to knock out the Ostwind. A direct hit through that open top bit could definitely spell perilous doom. But so far, most of the artillery is not having much success in actually hitting. Oh, very close there, very close to getting the Ostwind. Rangers are advancing. And there we go, the Ostwind does veer out of control, but the crew heroically minded, fires off a few more shots before they're ended. More artillery getting called in. My God. There is no end to the artillery. In some ways, could certainly be described as historical, because the Americans were known for calling in a lot of artillery on anything that moved, in fact, which rather the Germans began exploiting to a way so that the Americans would fire all the artillery at nothing, and then the Germans would counterattack, causing the Americans a bit of a headache. Certainly a bit of an interesting move, or certainly a bit of an interesting tactic. It also, of course, led to the Americans actually result having problems with ammunition, because they kept, well, running out of ammunition for all the artillery, so there was also something there. But more artillery. Oh, so close to hitting the snipers. So close. And again, just more and more artillery. And never-ending stream of high explosive shells being launched. Again, the German positions. Veterans free for the flak panzer. The Rangers themselves get hit by their own artillery. Madness. And another Austrian flak panzer on the way. Barely any infantry left. Some pioneers and other things. But overall, Niksa is in a lot of trouble. He is very much depleted in many a fashion. And again, there's just no end to the bombardments of the howitzers. Though Niksa has been able to inflict some damage to Takeitlikeaman's forces, killed some of the more veteran units, which is definitely what pays off the most, and partly also using propaganda war to sort of keep things a bit under control as well, but he can't keep expending 100 munitions just on that.
What are my coordinates?
And Veteran D2 for the other howitzer as well. Both supplied upgrades. Huzzah. And another push going on from Niksa here. The Ostwind makes a roll for it. Grenadiers could follow up. 30 caliber under fire. Snipers opening up as well. Where's the artillery flying now? Looks like into the German base. Looks like he was... Oh, cheeky. He might have been hoping to get the snipers or something else here, but he's actually... Niksa's retreating his snipers right into the line of fire of the howitzer, but no, the Sturmarmy takes a direct hit. Looks like the snipers will survive, but then again, I tend to get a bit wrong when it comes to artillery, and all of a sudden, well, that's going to survive. Boom. No, it's not. So, yeah, I'm going to be a bit careful about my predictions on that matter. Rangers pushing up again. Lots of Rangers. At the same time, the Ostwind holds up here nicely. The King Tigers pull back for repairs. Definitely quite a bit of damage. Again, Niksa, though, pointing the Ostwind in a slightly awkward manner that will make it easier for the Rangers to get it, although Veterans in free does mean it's more accurate. And there we go, though, the rear armor is taking several hits from the bazookas. One picked up again. And artillery going in. The Rangers have to be careful. They're likely to be hit by the... as well. Very dangerous. Very risky play from Takeitlikeaman. Oh! And his own men were killed by the artillery. Friendly fire. Friendly fire. An entire Ranger squad went down, and the other one was definitely also not too well off after that. And I suppose that's a slight side effect, and when you go that much artillery, you do tend to perhaps get a bit reckless, and also you risk your own men getting hit a bit more than usual. More anti-tank guns, more 30 calibers, more riflemen. He's not really received any tank destroyers at all whatsoever, except perhaps one. I mean, he can do something in the Ostwind and King Tiger, but ultimately he's having a bit of trouble really being aggressive. And again, his troops are getting drained out. In particular, now he's killing them himself. And more artillery getting called in now. Calling in off-map versus snipers. I think Takeitlikeaman is beginning to get a bit desperate. And the resulting pressure is causing him to make a few mistakes there in basically launching artillery and, well, anything that moves. I mean, Christ, good thing he's not near an orphanage. But sir, that's an orphanage. They're likely Krauts. Fire! We're seeing a mortar simply being laid down here. Mortar fire laying down to sort of basically keep the Germans away from advancing there. Definitely very desperate, in particular as the victory points continue to tick down. And in fact, they're very close at this stage. And again, more howitzer fire. An unending, unyielding rain of high explosive death. And the King Tiger is being almost pushed along. The engine is damaged. And the whole thing can't really drag it, but nonetheless, by some will, it moves. Anti-tank gun crew getting sniped out. 30 caliber rushing the snipers, and in fact, it causes Niksa to retreat them. I think it might have been a bluff. He might have sort of tried to give Niksa the impression that he had counter snipers, but just needed something to reveal them. And Niksa fell for it. He fell for the bluff. Impressive. And the mortar's getting outflanked by Grenadiers right there. Grenadiers look like they're actually heading for the victory point right there. Ostwind charges straight into everything. Takes several hits. Pioneers awfully close to getting hit by the artillery again. Need to be careful. And the Grenadiers made it towards the victory point, and the troops right there getting murdered by the Ostwind. Ostwind very close to death. Just one more bazooka rocket. No, the artillery finishes off the job. The Pioneers so can still be saved. Rückzug! Rückzug! And no, the Pioneer went down. Will the other Pioneer make it? Looks like they might. King Tiger delivers death on time. Right side, though, has collapsed for Takeitlikeaman, who's barely got anything left now. The whole blasting your men with artillery tactic obviously not quite working out. So much artillery, it's insane. And now artillery getting called in against the Grenadiers. And snipers now advancing in the wake of everything. Takeitlikeaman's got more artillery crewmen than he has infantry. Well, actually, just about equal. 6 artillerymen and then 6 infantrymen spread over 3 squads. That is quite telling in some ways. And now we're seeing a Wehrmacht officer out to take a point and keep anyone away from harassing. And his forced retreat is certainly cheaper. Of course, they only work against 1 squad at a time, but should do the trick. So the officer has been unleashed. Lieutenant Gottlieb is ready to save the fatherland. And now we do finally see 1 tank destroyer out for Takeitlikeaman. Going straight for the Ostwind. And the Ostwind is quite defenseless. Never quite built for that. We see a large wave of infantry following up for Takeitlikeaman, and there we go. The Ostwind goes down. The officers, though, quickly working away at that high munitions. The Ostwind, Lieutenant, is in fact one of the fastest capturing units in the game. And just a huge advantage. We're seeing, though, propaganda war forces away the rifleman squad. The officer needs to get out of there. Run, Gottlieb.
We're down to
Rückzug. Victory points, though, are trickling down. The Panzer Command's taking fire. The officer's going to be running straight through it all. Will he make it? And the Ostwind's going straight for the artillery. There's been an opening, and Niksa is taking it. Blasting away and getting the howitzer. Impressive. That's definitely going to be buying Niksa a bit of a breather. And the Ostwind, though, I mean the M. Well, at the same time, it's moving into the lair of the King Tiger, which definitely means there's something that can stop this M10 now. And there we go. King Tiger gets off an excellent shot, and the Ostwind now could just try to block the path of the. There we go. And the Rifleman squad goes down for Take It Like a Man. Artillery getting called in again on the snipers. Again, very desperate. And the M10 does go down.
Enemy unit down.
And looks like something was indeed killed of Nixas, but what it is, I don't know. 30 caliber set up there. Oh dear, looks like Gottlieb is dead. No, he's there actually. He's speeding up the building of a Panther apparently. And there we go. Gottlieb's Grenadiers and the Panther rolled in from the 2nd SS are advancing. The Panther's going to deal with the 30 caliber. And there we go. Take It Like a Man realizes the fight has been lost. Calls GG. But very close match. Tragically, though, I mean, despite his best efforts, the artillery wasn't quite enough. In fact, the artillery might have hindered him in some cases as he kept blowing up his own men. Less good. Mildly put. And of course there was this high reliance on off-map combat group, which in some cases it provided him with some nice units, but at other times rather hindered him more as manpower wasted on things he definitely did not need, and perhaps a tank depot and perhaps some tank destroyers would have helped him much more. In fact, just going for that would have easily helped with clearing out the Ostwinds on one side and would have forced Nixon to completely re-stabilize things, but the continued use of the off-map combat groups when faced with the Ostwinds, and again the sort of mixed results he got, rather meant that Nixon could in fact beat back, Take It Like a Man slowly and secure the map despite the artillery. And I think rather again than ultimately, I mean, Take It Like a Man had a great hand, and then off-map combat groups didn't quite work out. And again, sometimes it's very much, you know, live by the off-map combat group, die by the off-map combat group. In this case, this was a very great case of dying by it. He simply did not get what he needed, and he refused to get it himself. And ultimately that allowed Nixon to slowly but surely work his way back with even the officer, but Grenadiers, snipers, the King Tiger and the Ostwinds. Of course, I would have liked, I think Nixon could perhaps have won this had he actually been going after the Howitzers a bit earlier by sneaking in a single Ostwind, perhaps some artillery support. That could probably have won it, but Nixon was himself a bit reluctant to that, obviously with all the artillery going on. But, I mean, there you go. Apologies for the technical difficulties. But I hope you enjoyed this match. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends? If you didn't, well, why not turn a replay of your own? This is Imperial Danes saying cheers. And, you know, feel free to follow me on Facebook or Twitter. Links are in the description.